Dankie Chris en dankie vir die voorreg om eerste na middagete te praat. Ons Chris was so bietjie baie in die publieke oog vir die laaste 2 weke. So toe vra hy vir my ek moet kom. So ek sien uit daarna en kan ek net sê ek is nederig om na al die mense wat voor my gepraat het te praat, want ek dink die impak wat julle op julle gemeenskappe gehad het, sover is baie meer indrukwekkend as wat ek hier nou vir julle gaan wys. Maar kom ons gaan aan. Ek gaan so tussen Afrikaans en Engels spring. My slides is Engels, want ek val oor my woorde as ek van die tegniese goed in Afrikaans moet sê. En dan gaan ek verseker langer as 10 minute vat. So net, wie is Astral? Vir die van julle wat nie weet nie, ons is die grootste pluimveeprodusent in Suid-Afrika. Ons is gelys op Johannesburg se effektebeurs. En die ding wat ek hier wil uitlig, is spesifiek die impak van standaardton op ons besigheid. So ons het net so by die 13,000 mense, waarvan 5,500 mense in standaardton in diens geneem is. Ons het 180 plase, waarvan 57 plase in die standaardton omgewing is, as ook 2 broeierye of hatcheries. We've got 6 poultry processing plants, of which 2 is situated in Standerton. We've got a capacity to process 6.2 million broilers a week. In Standerton, we process 1.9 million broilers a week, so it is a substantial unit in our business. And then I think just to jump to the last point, it's definitely not an option for Astral to relocate out of Standerton for the reasons mentioned. We've got an integrated business there with a lot of farms in the area. It's close to our raw materials. Part of the reason why we did put the plants down there is the Vaal River runs through the town, and there's 2 Eskom power stations within 30 kilometers from the town. So you're probably asking, why are we in this situation? So let's move on. Just the first lesson that I want to share with you is economies of scale give you a big competitive advantage, and it's your friend. But if it turns the other way, if the wheel turns the wrong way around in economies of scale, then your challenge is very quick. And just for everybody to know, we've got an agriculture, a plaasafdeling, a commercial division of which I'm the managing director, and then the feed. This whole cycle, to plan it the most cost effective to produce the best cost poultry meat for the country to purchase, has got a 2-year time span. And that is planned to the day, to the minute. We place day-old chicks. It's not called day-old chicks for nothing. If you don't place them on the day that they hatch, you've got serious challenges. So that's the background of why we had to make this decision to take matters into our own hands because of the impact on the integrated business. Just so that you know, that's our feed mill in Standerton. We've got a feed mill in Standerton. It's the biggest one in our group, and as far as I know, the biggest one in the country. That's just an example of a broiler farm. That broiler farm houses about 400,000 chickens every 6 weeks. And then our plant, which is what I'll talk a lot about today. That picture is about 350 meters in the air, so it's not a small space to cover. So our Goldie plant, we call it Goldie in Standerton, utilizes 5.5 megaliters of water a day. So it's not just something that you replace overnight. As everybody has said, municipal infrastructure has gone backwards since 2015. And in 2019, exactly 5 years ago, the municipality cut our water supply for 10 consecutive days as part of a whole lot of politics, and we're not here to discuss politics. So in that time, we realized now you have to make a plan. That was our Rubicon event. And that's my second advice I want to give you. Moenie wag vir jou Rubicon event nie. Want om dit te fix kos meer geld as wat dit jou gaan kos as jy reg beplan. As ons dan aanbeweeg, financial resources to fix the lacking infrastructure is lacking, there's nothing. And then on top of that, load shedding further impacts the water. What did we do? How did we solve this? And this is a quick run through now. So we involved all spheres of government. to get to a solution here. And national COCTA helped us because provincial and local municipality didn't help us. Where we now is we reached an agreement, we cut our water supply from the municipality and we installed a reverse osmosis plant to supply 50% of our water. That 50% that we gave up goes directly to the community. And then we installed a road train, what we call a road train. So one of our farms are close to the Vaal River, I'll show you now. So we truck water from that farm onwards. We've also negotiated a 7 megaliter pipeline or water license to construct a pipeline, which we will do in future. And then we are still maintaining municipal infrastructure because you live in town. You've got 5,500 people that live in town. You can't leave them out to dry, so we still do that as well. That's just an example. I'm going to go a bit quicker so that we get to the lessons learned. You're more than welcome to discuss all of this with me, but that's our water plant that we built to become self-sufficient. That's the farm. That farm, within that 10 days, we built the pipeline from the Vaal River up in 7 days, and we were up and running in 7 days. Electricity, well documented, as said by Chris. The Eskom wanted to cut the supply to the town because Lekwa municipality owes Eskom more than R1 billion. We got a court order against Eskom that they're not allowed to do that because we pay our services diligently every month. It was the first of its nature. And then load shedding increased, and then we've got something called Lekwa shedding as well, where there's additional load shedding from Lekwa side because they don't stick to the agreements with Eskom. So to fix that, we've put in generators, just to be quick. That's our genset at both our feed mills and at our plant. That's a 12.8 megawatt genset. At stage 6, it uses about 60,000 liters of diesel every 2 days. So the lessons learned, this is why we're here. The supply situation that you are told by the authorities, in our case, was worse than what they tell you. That's why we ended up in a corner. So you have to get to the true reality of what's going on as quickly as possible, because only then can you start the process of building this plan to address it. The business interruption short-term causes much more long-term disruptions that you're not even aware of. So you have to take this in your own hands. You have to choose the right partners to develop a system that's a holistic approach and that can also deal with further unknown disruptions, because that will definitely come. There is technology out there that the cost of the solution should be similar or less than what you pay for your municipal supply. Accountability for the regulatory environment. We are in the food processing environment. You can't delegate that. You have to do it yourselves. And then you have to keep all spheres of government accountable. And that's where Astral comes in, where we say we will not back down to tell the public if people are not doing their jobs, because we're paying taxes. That goes twofold. The one is you have to base it on facts. If you're not factual, it will not work. The second thing is we've got the responsibility to supply this country with affordable food. And if people want to get upset, if you say, but you're the reason why food is becoming unaffordable, then so be it. But it has to be said, but you have to maintain good relations as well. And that's the difficult part. That's a continuous turning wheel. And there's a lot of strategy behind that. And I'm not saying we're getting it right, but yeah, I'm open to suggestions or if somebody wants to discuss it. Then lastly, you've got a social responsibility. We in that town, ons is deel van die Platteland. Jy kan nie jou rug draai op 'n dorp omdat jy nou ewe skielik selfafhanklik is nie. En dis hoekom ons van elektrisiteit gewys en van water gewys sal aanhou om daai dorp te ondersteun. En ons is nie net in daai dorpie, ons is in Delmas, ons is in Ladysmith en so kan jy aangaan. Ek wil afsluit. Daar's baie gepraat van hoop en Chris, ons CEO, sê vir my weekliks, jy kan nie 'n besigheid bestuur op hoop nie, want dis 'n ideologie. So dan sê ek vir hom, hoop is 'n werkwoord. Want hoop is die resultaat van die harde werk wat jy insit om jou besighede, om jou omstandighede reg te stel. Dis hoop vir my. En dan laastens, ons sit hier namens die Platteland, maar ek wil vir julle sê, ons het 'n aanleg in Olifantsfontein, reg in die middel van Gauteng, Wat ons in 2015 gesien het in Standerton, sien ons nou in Olifantsfontein. Die platteland gaan die land word, en is besig om te gebeur, en die mense wat hier voorsit met alles goeie planne, gaan die oplossings vir die stede gee in die toekoms. Dankie.